To everyone battling cancer with fear or faith, know this: 27,000 people die from cancer every day. They tried everything modern medicine offered, but not the one treatment that could have changed their story, because no one told them it even existed. What you're about to discover could truly change the course of this disease, not with another drug, but with the power that's already on your plate. Please don't just watch and forget. Save this video and share it with everyone you care about, because it could help save a life. And I urge you to stay with me till the very end. This might be the most important and powerful truth about cancer you'll ever hear. What if I told you cancer's greatest weakness is not a new drug, but the fuel it's addicted to? For decades, we've waged war on cancer with scalpels, radiation beams, and toxic drugs. Cut, burn, and poison. And yet, for so many, it still returns. At the root of every cancer hides a tiny but relentless enemy: the cancer stem cells. They're the true origin and engine driving tumor growth. But with surgery, chemo, and radiation, we're only chopping off branches and pruning the tree. Tumors shrink, masses disappear, yet the roots stay alive, ready to grow back. As long as we keep feeding them, cancer returns. The real battle isn't just to cut, it's to starve. Cut off the fuel, and you strike the disease at its source. What if the true secret to stopping cancer was not in a hospital at all? What if the real key to stopping cancer was hiding in plain sight, right there on your plate and deep inside your cells? How sad is it that we rely on YouTube to learn what to eat? Our entire healthcare system has ignored the most powerful medicine of all, real food, and left people clueless about how to nourish themselves. Part 1. Cancer's hidden metabolic weakness. Today, I'll show you something most people never hear in hospitals: how cancer can be turned around just by changing the food on your plate, backed by real patient results and actual lab evidence. In this video, I'll share powerful real-world proof of how metabolic therapy and dietary change can reverse cancer. Stay tuned till the end. It could change how you think about cancer forever. When our mitochondria, the tiny power plants inside our cells, are damaged by years of poor diet, toxins, and chronic inflammation, cells lose their ability to burn fat and oxygen efficiently. They switch into a primitive survival mode and become dependent on glucose, sugar, as their main source of energy. Cancer's favorite food is sugar. Cancer cells behave very differently from healthy ones. They build extra insulin and IGF-1 receptors and pull in sugar far more aggressively. If you stain them under a microscope, those receptors glow, proof of their sugar addiction. This is exactly why PET scans work. Doctors inject a radioactive glucose called FDG, fluorodeoxyglucose, and cancer cells light up like bulbs because they're consuming sugar faster than anything else. The good news: if sugar feeds cancer, starving it starts with what's on your plate. Healthy cells are metabolically flexible. They can use ketones from fat for fuel. Cancer cells, with damaged mitochondria, cannot. By lowering carbohydrates and reducing sugar, you drop insulin and IGF-1, cutting off the cancer's main fuel supply. In this low glucose state, cancer cells weaken and struggle to grow, while normal cells stay strong. Even traditional treatments like chemotherapy and radiation work more effectively when cancer cells are metabolically stressed. Part 2. How modern diets feed cancer. Our modern diet keeps cancer fueled 24/7. Refined carbs, sugary snacks, bread, juices, they keep insulin high and glucose constantly available. High insulin, more glucose in blood. More glucose, more fuel for cancer. More fuel, faster growth and spread. Even diabetics on insulin often have worse cancer outcomes because insulin acts as a key, opening more doors for glucose to flood into tumor cells. As Dr. Thomas Seyfried, professor of biology at Boston College, a living legend, explains, cancer is not a genetic disease, many cancer-related mutations are not the cause. They are the result of this disordered metabolic environment. Damaged mitochondria push cells toward a glucose-fermenting state. The Warburg effect, where mutations accumulate as downstream effects of metabolic chaos. Cancer is a mitochondrial metabolic disease. Part 3. Starving cancer, strengthening the body. The solution isn't another expensive drug, it's a metabolic shift. By living in a low glucose, low insulin state, through a ketogenic or low-carb diet, you change the environment cancer depends on. Your liver makes only the small amount of glucose your body truly needs. Normal cells switch easily to fat and ketones. Your brain gains clarity, energy stabilizes, and many chronic conditions like diabetes, hypertension, and cholesterol begin to improve. Cancer cells, however, cannot adapt. They become malnourished, stressed, and weak. Growth slows, tumors shrink, the chance of metastasis drops, and because the cells are already struggling, chemotherapy and radiation often work with lower doses and fewer side effects. Part 4. Real science, real results. PET scans prove most cancers are sugar-hungry. Lab and animal studies show lowering glucose slows tumor growth. Ketogenic and low-carb diets make it harder for many cancers to thrive. But cancer cells are clever. Some switch to using amino acids like glutamine. Dr. Seyfried proposes a press and pulse approach. Press: keep glucose and insulin consistently low with diet and fasting. Pulse: use targeted treatments in bursts to block alternative fuels like glutamine. This two-step metabolic strategy can corner cancer cells and leave them without an easy escape. Part 5. Why medicine ignores this? You might wonder, if this is so powerful, why is not metabolic therapy in mainstream? Because food doesn't make money. Pharmaceutical companies don't fund food trials. There's no patent. Universities rarely prioritize nutritional studies. There are at least 15 types of oncologists specializing in specific organs or diseases, and medical, surgical, and radiation oncologists for every stage of treatment, yet not a single one focused on addressing the root cause: nutrition. The absence of a nutrition oncologist is the greatest irony in modern cancer care. Imagine being the patient, enduring treatments that cut, burn, and poison, and still, not one voice tells you what to eat to heal from within. A costly mistake many make during cancer treatment. One of the deadliest misconceptions in cancer care is this: when patients grow weak and tired from the disease and its toxic treatments, families assume it's because they're not eating enough, and in trying to help, they feed them normal diets loaded with sugar, the very fuel cancer thrives on. That well-intentioned comfort actually fuels the disease. So instead of helping, this habit continuously fuels tumor growth, making the disease harder to control and treatments less effective. Even cancer hospitals serve carb-loaded meals, bread, juices, cookies to patients fighting cancers that thrive on sugar. The truth is, fasting, not sugar, starves cancer cells, slows their growth, and significantly reduces treatment side effects. Feeding carbs in such moments isn't care, it's feeding the enemy. If you have cancer and ask your doctor what you should eat, the most common reply is, it doesn't matter. At best, you might be advised to follow a so-called balanced diet, which usually means a diet still rich in carbohydrates. But here's the reality: what you eat matters deeply, because depending on your choices, you can either feed the cancer or starve it. Passive patients suffer the most in today's cancer care. Hospitals are crowded with people spending fortunes, enduring toxic treatments, and waiting for miracles. Yet no one tells them the simplest truth: what to eat and what not to eat. Don't be one of them. But imagine if we proved that a ketogenic diet could cut chemotherapy doses by 75%, reduce radiation by half, or even make some treatments unnecessary. That's the power of metabolic therapy, and it's hiding in plain sight. Part 6. A real-life case. Starving prostate cancer. Here's a powerful real-world story. A 66-year-old man diagnosed with prostate cancer had PSA levels fluctuating between 24 and 34 nanograms per ml. Gleason score 7, 3 plus 4. His prostate volume was 44 cc and the largest tumor measured 3.4 cc. Doctors advised the usual route: surgery, radiation. He refused surgery, unwilling to sacrifice his quality of life for treatments that might leave him incontinent, impotent, and still facing the possibility of cancer's return. Instead, he switched to a strict low-carb ketogenic diet, cutting out sugars and processed foods to starve the tumor. 3 months after starting the ketogenic diet, November 2024, the prostate size shrank from 44 cc to 36 cc, an 18% reduction. The tumor volume dropped from 3.4 cc to 1.2 cc, meaning it became about 65% smaller. MRI scans confirmed the tumor had reduced to just 9 millimeters, showing a major improvement. Over the following year, the tumor remained stable between 1.2 and 1.3 cc, which is still about 62% smaller than when it was first found. The prostate size continued shrinking, reaching 33 cc, about a 25% total reduction from the original size. In short, within just 3 months, the tumor shrank dramatically, and over the next year, the cancer stayed smaller and under control, all without surgery or radiation. PSA remained stable, and the cancer stayed contained and controlled. This patient demonstrated a profound biological truth. By changing the metabolic fuel, we can change the disease itself, altering the course of cancer in ways rarely achieved by conventional treatments. Change the fuel, change the disease. Final takeaway: a tumor shrank by 60% and stayed that way for over a year, simply through dietary change, without surgery, radiation. Yet, conventional medicine rarely acknowledges this. The real power lies not in hospitals or treatments, but in the patient's own hands, through active, independent choices, not passive, dependent treatments. Real-life success. 2. Ovarian cancer and diabetes control. An 80-year-old woman with stage 2 ovarian cancer after surgery, chemotherapy was recommended. However, as she continued with a ketogenic diet and showed stable progress, chemotherapy was considered unnecessary. Her CA-125 tumor marker stayed normal, showing no recurrence. She had been diabetic for 40 years and on insulin for the past 12 years. Yet after starting the keto diet, she was able to stop insulin completely within just 1 week and switch to a single oral diabetes medication. Real-life success. 3. Rectal cancer, recovery and asthma. Improvement. A 79-year-old woman with locally advanced carcinoma of the anorectum underwent 25 cycles of radiation therapy combined with chemotherapy. During course of treatment, she developed severe skin reactions, particularly on legs, persistent anal burning, profuse vomiting, and diarrhea, becoming unable to retain any food. Surgery was offered as an option, to be considered only if the cancer showed further growth. However, she chose to continue her strict ketogenic diet, mindful of the severe side effects she had suffered during chemotherapy. She firmly states that she will never undergo such toxic treatments or surgery again, and remains determined to maintain her health through the ketogenic lifestyle, which she continues to follow while enjoying good health, has maintained normal CEA levels, and is currently enjoying good overall health. And even her 50-year history of asthma is now under control. In these 2 patients, diet didn't dramatically shrink the cancer. It kept toxic treatments off the table for an entire year and gave an 80-year-old the strength and confidence to face cancer on their own terms, using food as the weapon. A difficult case, when it's too late to change the fuel. I also came across some advanced stage 4 cancer patients with widespread metastasis and severely disturbed metabolism. One such case was a young woman with undifferentiated round cell sarcoma, bone cancer, who developed serious complications like bleeding from the stomach and severe anemia. The medical oncologist gave her a heartbreaking choice: just 1 month of life without chemotherapy, or about 6 months with it. I advised a strict nutrition plan alongside chemotherapy. But like so many others, she chose only chemo, exhausting herself in the same cycle of toxic treatments that break more than they heal. And with a heavy heart, I watched her pass away exactly 6 months later, just as they had predicted. And it left me with a haunting question. How many lives could change if food was treated as medicine, not as an afterthought? How many stories could end differently if, alongside the treatments that profit from cancer, every patient was also given the power to choose healing through nutrition, through metabolic therapy, through rebuilding the body's terrain? Perhaps then we wouldn't just fight disease, we would help people truly heal. Part 7. Why this matters. This is not medical advice. Every patient's journey is unique. But this story shows something powerful. Diet and metabolism are not alternative therapies. They are foundational. Cancer thrives in a high insulin, high sugar environment. Remove that fuel, and you shift the battle in your favor. Finally, I wish to disclose that I have gained substantial knowledge in cancer nutrition primarily from the pioneering work of Dr. Thomas Seyfried. Dr. William Lee, a major advocate of food, as medicine explains that cancer cells avidly consume glucose to fuel their metabolism. But he also emphasizes that we can fight back with specific foods that starve cancer cells by cutting off their blood supply, a process known as anti-angiogenesis. Experiments have shown that when blood vessels are allowed to feed tiny, microscopic cancers, angiogenesis, they can grow up to 16,000 times larger in just 2 weeks. That's how powerful angiogenesis can be in fueling tumor growth. Some of the most powerful anti-angiogenic foods include EGCG in green tea, resveratrol in red wine and grapes, genistein in soy, even effective in certain breast cancers, lycopene in tomatoes, anthocyanins in blueberries, boost T cells and natural killer cells, enhancing immunity and lowering inflammation. Sulforaphane in broccoli, kale and chard stimulates T-cell activity to help the immune system target cancer. Vitamin C in kiwis and citrus fruits protects DNA from damage, while their fiber nourishes a healthy gut microbiome. Pomegranate and cranberry promote the growth of beneficial gut bacteria, which play a key role in immune regulation. The vast majority of cancers primarily use glucose and glutamine as their main sources of energy. Hormone-dependent cancers often rely on lipids, fats, as a key fuel. Some cancers can use branched-chain amino acids for growth, and a few particularly advanced and aggressive cancers may even adapt to use ketones as fuel. The hidden truth: most cancers feed greedily on glucose and glutamine, but some have a deadly obsession with specific fuels. And here's the game changer. When you know exactly what your cancer is eating, you can design a strategy to starve it to death. Golden rule: cancer cells are metabolic shapeshifters. They adapt, switch fuels, and fight to survive. But once you know their favorite fuel, you hold the power to fight back. Through fasting, low-carb nutrition, low-fat phases, and targeted dietary choices, you can cut off their energy supply and turn the tide in this battle against disease. Supportive strategies, such as taking vitamin D supplements, engaging in regular exercise, practicing fasting, and rotating diets based on the type of cancer. In advanced cancers, prolonged fasting can often deliver the most powerful therapeutic results, potentially weakening cancer cells by cutting off their energy supply. I'm Dr. Sudhakar Reddy Tirupathy, and my mission on Tryincurable is to reveal the science modern medicine often overlooks, the truths that can change how we fight chronic disease. I'm not saying diet alone cures cancer, but imagine if every patient was first guided on what to eat before being rushed into toxic treatments. Wherever the patient is stable, diet therapy should be tried first. Because once the body loses strength, even the best drugs can't save what nutrition could have protected. I see an even more powerful and hopeful tool in integrative oncology: A unified model where immunotherapy targets and destroys cancer cells, while metabolic therapy weakens and starves them, combining the precision of modern science with the wisdom of metabolic healing to create a future where cancer can truly be conquered. If this story opened your eyes, subscribe to Tryincurable so you can never miss the next myth-busting episode, and smash the like button. It helps this truth reach more people. And if someone you love is battling cancer, share this video. It might change their journey forever.